There comes a point in your life where you realize it's not more motivation that you need, it's clarity. Because when you get clear on what you want, motivation stops being something you chase, and starts being something that pulls you. You don't need to force yourself to move. You just need to understand what's holding you back. Because success isn't about adding more to your life, it's about letting go of what's in the way. And one of the first things you have to release is the need for approval. That constant urge to be liked, to be accepted, to fit into a mold someone else created for you. You change the way you talk, the way you dress, the way you show up, just to feel safe. But no one who's ever built something real, something impactful, ever did it by playing small and asking for permission. The moment you let go of that, the moment you stop needing people's validation, is the moment you start moving. And I get it, it's not easy. You can't just snap your fingers and stop caring what people think. But here's the truth. The time you spend trying to please others is time you're stealing from yourself. Think about it. How many decisions have you made just to keep someone else happy? How many dreams have you buried just because you were afraid of being judged? That's not you living. That's you playing a character in someone else's script. You also need to release your attachment to the past. All those memories of what didn't work out. The missed chances, the failures, the people who hurt you. The past is not a chain, it's a lesson. But most people carry it around like a weight, as if replaying old pain somehow changes the outcome. It doesn't. You're not that same version of you who made those mistakes. If you keep dragging your old self around, there's no space for who you're becoming. Success doesn't begin when you do something new. It begins when you stop doing the same old things that have kept you stuck. That means cutting loose the fear of failure. Because it's not failure you're afraid of, it's the feeling of being a failure. But what is failure, really? Something didn't go as planned? Good. That's information. That's raw data. That's something you can build on. Every mistake becomes fuel when you learn to use it that way. Another thing you've got to stop doing: comparing yourself to others. Because comparison is the silent killer of drive. It makes you believe you're behind, when you're really just on a different path. You look at someone who's been at this for 5 years and beat yourself up because you're just getting started. But you don't see the whole picture. You don't see their late nights, their sacrifices, their failures. You see their highlight reel, and you judge yourself against it. You weren't born to follow someone else's pace. You were born to create your own. And if you keep comparing, you rob yourself of joy, progress, and momentum. Your energy should go into building, not judging. Another lie you've got to let go of: I don't have time. Listen, no one has time. You make time. Everyone has 24 hours. The difference is what you prioritize. You say you don't have time, but how much of your day do you spend numbing out, scrolling endlessly, distracting yourself? That's not time you don't have. That's time you're avoiding. And why? Because deep down, you know what you want, but you're scared to go after it. But here's the truth. You don't need a perfect plan or perfect conditions. You need commitment. And when you're truly committed, you stop waiting for motivation to show up. Because you understand that motivation isn't the cause, it's the effect. You act first. You move. You create momentum. And then, the drive comes. You have to stop waiting to feel ready. That feeling? It rarely shows up. You're not supposed to feel ready. Readiness is a byproduct of action, not a prerequisite. You learn by doing. You grow by throwing yourself into situations that stretch you. But so many people wait. They wait until they feel more confident, more qualified, more experienced, and while they wait, life keeps moving. And the truth is, experience doesn't come from preparation. It comes from showing up unprepared and doing it anyway. And when you start doing that, you realize something powerful. Most of the limits you thought you had were self-imposed. They weren't real. They were just stories. Narratives you repeated to yourself so many times that they started to feel like truth. That voice in your head, the one that tells you you're not good enough, not smart enough, not the type of person who succeeds, that voice is a liar. But it sounds convincing because it's been speaking to you in your own tone, with your own logic. It uses your voice to sabotage your future. So how do you shut it down? Not by fighting it. Not by yelling affirmations into the mirror. You kill it with action. You rewire that voice every time you do something that contradicts its message. You show up even when it says you can't. You speak up even when it says you'll be judged. And slowly, that voice gets quieter. Not because it's gone, but because you've stopped feeding it. You've also got to stop chasing comfort. Comfort feels good in the short term, but it kills long-term growth. It seduces you. It tells you you've earned the rest. It tells you tomorrow is a better day to start. But that voice doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about your convenience. And the more you listen, the more your standard drops. Until one day you wake up and realize you're just maintaining, not building, not expanding, not creating. And that's when it hits you. The dream you had has been slowly shrinking to fit inside the life you're tolerating. And that should scare you. Because nothing is worse than looking back and realizing you played it safe. That you built a life that looked okay from the outside but felt empty on the inside. You have to stop hanging on to people who no longer belong in the future you're building. Some people aren't meant to grow with you. And that's okay. But if you keep dragging them along just because they've always been there, you're choosing loyalty over legacy. You're choosing history over destiny. And that trade-off will cost you more than you think. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is protect your energy, not with hate, not with drama, but with distance. Quiet distance. Because not everyone deserves access to your time, your dreams, your fire. Especially if all they do is dim it. And when you let go of that need to explain yourself, to justify your growth, you become unstoppable. You don't owe anyone an explanation for doing what's right for your evolution. If they don't understand now, they will when they see you shining. And even if they don't, who cares? Your success isn't up for debate. It's up to you. Let go of the fantasy that success will feel good all the time. It won't. In fact, sometimes it'll feel lonely, uncomfortable, even painful. Growth is messy. Transformation is violent in the way it breaks everything familiar just to rebuild you stronger. But don't mistake that discomfort for failure, it's just the price of elevation. And most people never pay it. They quit the moment it hurts. They retreat when it gets hard. But if you can sit in that fire, if you can stay there, breathe through it, push through it, you'll come out the other side reborn. And here's the thing nobody tells you: confidence doesn't come first. Courage does. Confidence is the reward for showing up scared and doing it anyway. So don't wait to feel bulletproof. Just move. Speak. Create. Lead. Mess up. Grow. And do it again. That's how you become unstoppable, by repeating courage until it turns into confidence. You also need to stop living by other people's timelines. Society will try to convince you that you're late, late to succeed, late to settle down, late to figure it all out. But who decided the schedule? Who made the rules? Most of them were made up by people who weren't even happy themselves. You're not behind, you're exactly where you need to be become who you're meant to be. But only if you stop wasting time trying to meet deadlines that don't even belong to you. And once you accept that, you stop rushing. You start building with intention. You stop chasing quick results, and you begin investing in the long game. That's when everything changes. Because the person who plays the long game doesn't panic when things don't work out fast. They adapt. They adjust. They stay in the game. And eventually, they win. But you won't win if you don't learn to manage your inner state. Not every battle is outside. Some of the worst ones are inside your own head. That moment when doubt creeps in. When you question everything you're doing. When you wonder if any of this is even worth it. That's when it matters most. That's where you either break or break through. And to break through, you have to have a reason bigger than your excuses. Something that pulls you out of bed when it would be easier to sleep. Something that pushes you forward when quitting would feel more comfortable. That's vision. And it has to be clear. Crystal clear. Because when you know why you're doing something, no setback can stop you. No failure can shake you. No hater can distract you. You're locked in. Here's the truth. If you've made it this far, you're already on the right path. You're not just watching, you're awakening. You've faced the things you need to let go of, and now you're ready to move forward. Don't wait any longer. The time is now. Let go of the fear, the doubt, the limits, and step into the version of yourself who knows no boundaries. Success isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. Now, if this video resonated with you, subscribe, like, and comment below. I'm letting go of what doesn't serve me. I want to hear from you. Let's rise together. Time to create your future.